YouTube channel.
All right. That's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. Let's keep it coming. Okay, yes. So good morning once again. And today we're talking about a topic very dear to me, which is personal branding and identity. So yes, that's me in a nutshell. And right now we're talking about why personal branding matters, the fact that it sets you apart in a competitive world. It helps you to build trust and credibility. It opens doors for partnership with clients and other opportunities, and then it shapes how others perceive your value. You can either leave the perception of your value to people to figure out, or you can be very intentional about making sure that this is how I want to be perceived and putting it out there. So yes, thank you. Oyin says that it enhances career progression and growth. Absolutely. And then, of course, I also have another contribution here that says personal branding is important because it announces us even before we say anything. I love this. Someone says that personal branding is important because it showcases your unique strengths and expertise. Thank you, everyone. So yes, whilst I'm looking forward to other people to also share, I will move on. I love this quote by Jeff Bezos. It says, your personal brand or your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So have you thought about that? What do people actually say about you when you're not in the room? So interestingly, I'm actually also going through a training right now. We're on break. And so that's why I'm even able to do this session. Now, I'm sharing that story because this quote by Jeff Bezos resonates so strongly with me. So I actually did my basic course with the Center for Management and Development. I'm actually at the center streaming this session, and something profound happened. So the advanced session started on Monday, right? And so the people in my cohort that we did the basic cohort together realized I was not in the class. Now, the fees is spanning to about almost $1 million, and when I considered my financial priorities, I was able to decipher and tell myself that, Tui, I mean, for now, I can't afford to enroll for this advanced course. Why? Because of so many personal reasons. You know, my family is moving house. I mean, I'm a parent. This is school fees, peak season, and so many other financial commitments that I had. But then, guess what? Can somebody guess in the chat room? Guess what? So, guess. I need you to guess. Guess what I'm about to say. I need somebody to guess in the chat. I want you to be sure. I want to be sure that you're with me. Type what do you think I'm about to say. Nancy says, I got a scholarship. All right. Interesting. Someone paid for me. Interesting. So yes, you both are somewhat correct. So a group of people in my class decided to come together and say, no, we want Dr. Toyi in the room. And so they contributed some amount of money. So it's like a scholarship, a partial scholarship, and some of them got to gather the money because they were like, we need you in the room. You're so instrumental. So by the way, I was the deputy governor during the basic class, and they were like, I mean, I got almost 80% scholarship. And voila, they called me yesterday and said, please, wherever you are, cancel any other appointment you have and just start coming. So apparently I left an indelible mark in their hearts when we were having the basic course, because I went above and beyond during my role as the deputy governor. The governor was also in the room, and you know, they all came together and they had this, and I'm back in class. Interesting. So I had to share that story because that is my current reality as I speak to you right now. So let's talk about self-discovery. Branding really starts with you. I'm sure some of us may be wondering, but we're talking about branding here. And, you know, but I love the topic because when I saw it, it was not just about personal branding. It was also about identity. So that quote there says, you cannot brand what you don't understand. And what that simply implies is that no matter how much you want to go about, you know, the intrinsic outside qualities of personal branding, it's not going to be sustainable. So you have to be able to consider how the place of identity play in personal branding. So what are the action steps? Because I don't like teaching theory. I mean, I'm a hands-on person. I love teaching something that is applicable, something that you can take and run with almost immediately. The first is your vision and mission. What's your vision for life? What's your mission? Mine is very simple. My vision is to actually empower individuals, transform organizations, communities, nations, continents, while putting into context my own personal growth and well-being, as well as having fun. Now, these words that I put together did not just come. I had to sit down, ask myself some very, very potent and important questions about what exactly do I want my life to be about? And then how do I carry out this mission? It's through my ikigai, which simply means what I love to do, my passion, which is teaching, my mission, what the world needs that I have to offer, which is leadership, my profession, which is what I am paid to do, and my vocation, which is, what is this that I've been gifted to do. Now, the question I'll ask you is, what is yours? You need to be able to sit down and carefully craft this out and get the main meat of the gist. Secondly, you need to be able to identify your core values. So your values are universal principles that you want to be able to stand by and live by as an individual. I put examples here: integrity, creativity, and reliability. Now, your values are very, very important because they represent you. When we strip you of your title, of your name, of your roles, and every other thing, what remains is your value. So for me, I have 4 core values, which are love, discipline, integrity, and excellence. Next, you need to consider your SWOT. Please type in the chat for me the full meaning of the acronym SWOT. I'm waiting. Let's do that quickly while I take my water break. What is the full meaning of SWOT? Can we start typing, please? SWOT, S-W-O-T. What does that mean? Thank you so much. Please, I need this person to rename his or her device because I like addressing people by name. Thank you so much, Chidera. Chidera says strength, weakness is operate. You need to can you imagine? you need to, can you imagine? And I've not been able to recognize it. Okay, so strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So find a way to rename your device. That will go a very long way, right? So what do you do to your strength? You strengthen your strength. What do you do to your weaknesses? Don't bother wasting your time, resources, and energy working on it. Just delegate it. Look out for people whose strengths are your weaknesses and whose weaknesses are your strengths. So I'm going to give you an example of my own weakness. One of my weaknesses is because I'm very visionary. I'm like an apostle. I love breaking grounds. I have the tendency not to pay attention to details. So one of the things that I did when I was starting my business was to get a data analyst, because I knew that data was very instrumental to the growth and helping me to make informed decisions in my business. So what did I simply do? Rather than work on my strengths, rather than work on my weaknesses, I delegated it. So if you are following me, what did I say you should do to your strengths? I said strengthening your strengths. Type in the chat. I need somebody to type that in this chat. Strengthening your strength. Why do you need to strengthen your strength? You need to strengthen your strength because it helps you to, that's the aspect of your life where you operate with little or no effort. You work like a computer. And so when you strengthen your strength, your personal branding gets more expression. And people are like, what manner of person is this? And how do you strengthen your strengths? You go for courses, just like I'm doing. You do so many other things that would make your strengths show. But the first thing is you have to identify what your strength is anyway. Thank you so much, Chidera. Now, I said for your weaknesses, just delegate it. You don't need to work on it. Because if you're trying to work on it, you will lose the focus on strengthening your strength, because you are going to be investing time, resources in working on them. So delegate it. So if you heard me right, type in the chat, delegate your weaknesses. And I've given you the instances of me not having that weakness of not paying attention to details. Like, I don't have time. When I say I don't have time, I can be very, very spontaneous. I can be very impatient. And for someone that will have to be a data analyst for my business. So the question also is, so what if you don't have the financial means to delegate your weakness like I did? You don't want to leverage on volunteering, all right? So I need someone to type in the chat, delegate your weakness, before I continue. Thank you so much, Okore. Now, the next thing is that for your opportunities, you want to maximize them. You need to maximize your opportunities. Why? Because when opportunity comes to you, they are for reasons. I mean, I had so many other things I had planned out for this week. I had my day planned out yesterday, but when the opportunity came that I got a whooping 80% scholarship, guess what? Of course, I had to maximize it. I was going out for another outing with a friend yesterday. I just had to call her, hey, friendship, guess what? Sorry, I won't be able to go on that outing with you anymore. I just have to maximize this opportunity. So that's what you do to it. So if you heard me right, type in the comments, maximize your opportunities. I'm waiting to see that in the charts. Thank you so much, Chidera. Now, what do you do to your threats? You avoid it totally as much as you can, because your threats has the tendency to take your life out. Why did all of us, wear masks, our nose masks during COVID? Why did we have to put on our hand sanitizers? Why did we have to make sure that we adhere to social distancing? Because life has no duplicates. COVID-19 came as a threat to us, right? So it could be threats in your decision making. It could be threats in your relationship. When you know that somebody is after your life, better avoid the person like a plague. Because when you are also into personal branding, right, you are going to attract enemies. That's just the truth. So what else do you need to do when it comes to your self-discovery? You need to identify what's your unique value proposition. What is that thing that you bring to the table that is like your signature? Thank you so much, Nancy, for typing in that. Then you also want to be able to identify what's your promise, what's your brand promise. My brand promise is simple: to empower individuals and to transform organizations. That's what I'm doing right now, isn't it? Yes, it is. The next is what's positioning. You need to consider your positioning. How are you positioned? For example, when you Google your name, what do you see? I have a business website. I have a personal website. I'm paying heavily for those two websites just because of positioning. So I'm sure when I applied for the Landmark Foundation, when I applied to be a mentor, all they just need to do was to Google my name. Nancy, tell me the truth, yes or yes? Nancy, maybe it wasn't you.
I'm here. It was Cheesy. It was Cheesy Terem, yes.
Yes. You guys had to Google. And okay, so Chidi is here, right?
But she's not currently on the call.
Okay, so apparently there was something that she saw and she was like, yeah, this lady has got it. So, I mean, to everyone on the call, Google your name. Do you like what you see? If you don't like what you see, you can then decide and be intentional about putting what you would like people to see. Remember what we said at the beginning, that it's really about being proactive about the perception that people will have of you. Then your personality and your voice, own it. Some people say, I don't like the way I don't like to say, there's a reason why God wired you that way, and you have to own it. Then you need to consider, who are your target audience? So for me, I'm very clear. I'm so passionate about educators, I'm passionate about anybody who that wants to learn about leadership. I'm so passionate about mentoring. I'm so passionate about coaching. I'm passionate about helping small businesses to grow as well. And then you need to consider your career, your business, your impact goals. How do you want to, have you discovered yourself in those areas? So in as much as I'm also I'm a business leader, I'm also very strategic in volunteering. I mean, for my introduction, you will notice that who does that? I mean, who goes ahead to be a mentor on 4 platforms? What am I talking about? Yeah, 4 platforms, international platforms for that matter. MasterCard, Teach for Nigeria, Tony Elumelu Foundation, and the Land Bank Foundation. So it also had to do with my impact goals. And when you are volunteering, don't just go and volunteer or don't just achieve your impact goals randomly because you are mover. You must have what is called enlightened interest. Are they in line and sync with my vision, my mission, my core values? These are things you need to consider. So for scale of discovery, you need to ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table? It starts with you. Consider your experiences, your skills, your products, your results, your network, your time. Like I said again, your personality, own it, love it, embrace it, right? And then your special gifts and talents. So I need all of us to quickly do this exercise. You need to write your personal brand statement. So I'm going to start with mine, okay? So please, I need you to do that in the chat right away. So I usually talk about, sometimes you can change that statement, I help, to I work. So depending on the kind of audience, so if you are trying to sell, well, that you sell yourself as a professional or sell yourself as a business-oriented person, you may want to say, I work with. So I'm going to use, in this context, I work with, okay? So I'm sure you've seen this on people's bio, right? So you need to be very, very intentional. So I can say, I work with senior and middle leadership executive, okay, to achieve, what's the result? To achieve sustainable leadership skills. Are you getting it? Are you with me? So let me take it from the beginning again. I work with middle and senior leadership executives to achieve sustainable leadership skills through training, mentorship, coaching, and sustainability programs. Did you get that? So can somebody give it a try? I need one person to give it a try. I need you to write your personal brand statement because I'm very practical, like I said. I don't come to teach theory. So if you can write this, I can actually help you correct it. That's the beautiful thing. If you can write it on the chat, I can help you correct it. So you are a step ahead of others. So let's quickly see somebody do that. I need just one person to do that because of our time. Thank you. Anybody? So I'll run through mine again. I work with middle and senior leadership executives to achieve leadership skills through mentorship, training, coaching, and sustainable programs. All right. So, okay, so good. Okay, what if you are not living in the reality of who you want to be yet? So it's going to be difficult for you to do this, Operi. It's going to be difficult for you to do this. That's just the truth. All right, because of our time, I'm going to move on. That was $1 million opportunity I give to someone. If you'll come to me to help you with that, I'm going to charge you. So what's professional branding? The intentional efforts to shape how others perceive your professional identity. Now, I'm going to be, there are some keywords here, or there's a major keyword here. Let me put it that way. And that has to do with intentional effort. Okay? So I want to put that on bold. The intentional efforts to shape how others perceive Still going back to perception, okay? Your professional identity, because here we are talking about professional identity, okay? So I'm going to go back to my full screen. So what are your key elements for your professional branding? You have your values, your visual identity, which are your logos, your colors, your style, because now we have evolved to talking into professional branding, your voice and your tone, and then your presence, both online and offline. So to define your audience and your value, you need to ask yourself the question, who are you serving? Who are your customers? Take, for example, my customers are leadership, middle and senior leadership executives. What problems do you solve? I solve the problem of, helping them get clarity, helping them to be able to develop their leadership skills, because not all of, a lot of, when middle leaders and senior leadership executives don't have the required skills, what then happens is that it affects a lot of people. So it has geometric impact on not really helping people get the kind of result they need. Then why should they choose you? Now, they will definitely choose me because, number one, I have the natural gifting of leadership. Leadership comes to me as a natural gift. Secondly, over the years, I've developed my leadership skills and expertise. Thirdly, I have what it takes to be able to take them through teaching, through mentorship, through coaching, through sustainable programs. So many other people don't have my model to be able to help them become the kind of leaders that they ought to be. So did you see that? So I think, Opera, this is also a question that you need to sit down to ask yourself and ask. So I actually did design thinking methodology, starting with the end in mind. So you want to sit down and answer these questions, or then we can have a one-on-one conversation about this. Okay. So just send me a message to remind me after this call. So Opera is my mentee assigned to me, so that every other person do not feel as if I'm partial. This is Landmark. It's Landmark that costs it, not me. So I help, or I work with middle and senior leadership executives to get better at their leadership skills, or to heal their leadership skills, by providing them with practical strategies, systems, structures, schedule, so that they can become exceptional and extraordinary leaders. Okay? So now, take a look at this. One of the things you need to do to build your online identity is your LinkedIn profile. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going directly to my LinkedIn channel. Okay? Because like I said, I'm a very practical person. I don't know why they chose me for this topic, but for some reasons, I was just like, wow, this is more or less like, I hope we can still see my screen. Okay, yes, we can, because I can see it. So beautiful. So this is my LinkedIn, all right? This is my LinkedIn channel. I want to find a way to, I don't know why it's not showing as a full profile. Okay, let me find a way to hide this stuff. Okay, but I'm sure we can all see. So you may want to zoom in. Let me zoom in. Okay, I think that's what I want. So now take a look at this. This is my LinkedIn profile. If you take a look at this, what strikes you just at looking at this page? Please, I need you to type in the chat. Nancy, you are covering your mouth. Yes, now I have to make sure that I'm very open and say I'm doing my work as a facilitator, but as a mentor, I'm only accountable to operate. So what is it that has struck you looking at this page? I need a response. One person. I want to be sure you're with me. Or what perception do you have about the owner of this page? Let's assume I'm not the one talking. Please, quickly. What's your perception? Waiting. I won't continue if I don't see any response. What's your perception? Let's assume you just stumbled on this page. High-level leadership trainer and consultant. Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you so much. So if you can take a look, I was interviewed by Guardian newspaper. So I intentionally used that as my cover photo. The owner of the page is a professional. Absolutely. Thank you, Pere. So look at this. Then I put in my name and my titles. My bio, I've had to change this over and over and over and over again. So it's not a cast in stone. So your personal brand is something that you have to constantly and consistently work on. So you have your CEO, Koskis Transformational Academy Limited, executive leadership mentor and coach, global consultant, education and business strategist, corporate trainer, mentor of the year, author, and brand ambassador. So you know if you are going to chat me, I'm not an anyhow person. Highly experienced. Thank you, Chidera. So if you click here, it takes you straight. Oh no. Sorry, internet is showing us, is doing me some strong thing. So if you click on that, it takes you straight to my personal website. So it's still loading. Let's give it some minutes. Don't worry, I'm going to stick to the 1 hour. Trust me. I'm just trying to be very practical with us. Now, this is my personal website. Can you see? So here, if you now want to binge and read as much as you want about me, you are good to do that. My approach, my commitments, my consultancy services, you know, my testimonials with people that I've worked with, middle executive leaders, business owners, right? So you can also see that even my color is consistent. My logo is consistent, right? You know, get in touch, you know, so, you know, all of that. So you can see what I'm trying to say. And if you can see, my brand color is also consistent. I have some pictures about when I've facilitated trainings, you know, when I've been invited to speak, my awards. So I've put in a lot of work into my personal branding. So don't be overwhelmed, my dear sisters. Don't be overwhelmed. But the truth is, it's doable, you know, and all of that. So let me get back. So one thing I also want you to do is I want you to please, as much as possible, when we are done with this thing, you need to, you know, so show all services. You can see all my services are here. So just take your time anyway and go through my website at your convenience, go through because we don't have all the time. Okay. So let's move on. So back to my conversation. So you can see and all of that. You know, my professional email and signature, very important. If you go to my email page, like I said, I'm a very practical trainer. So you would permit me to show you so many things. Since sorry, just permit me to. I am very practical. That's my disease. Okay, so let me just show you what we sent to Roving Heights. Oh no, I don't know, for some reasons my personal signature and all of that is not coming on. What can I do? Okay, so let me try to compose a mail. Oh yes, also. So I'm sure you can see. Can we all see this? You can see this, right? If you can see it, type yes. Let me zoom in. If you can see it, type yes. Good. So this is my email signature. So it's there. Good. Fantastic. Okay. So let's go back to what we're talking about. So I don't just teach people, I practice, I put into practice what I do. So personal website or portfolio, I've shown you that. Optional but very powerful. Consistent social media presence. If you go to any of my social media pages today, I still made a post this morning. Though I have a, I've delegated that, okay? But if it's like you hire a social media manager, whatever it takes, do whatever it takes for you to build your online identity. So for socials, remember to share with discretion. Remember that everything you do is a reflection of your brand. Tailor your content per platform. Different platforms have different features and different audiences. You know that. I mean, I can't go in depth to that. Create a tribe. You see, this one is very important. When you have an online community, make sure that the platform is conversational and interactive. So I have communities all across Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, name it. Virtual communities, all right? So you want to have that too, so that, and then whenever you have a training, if you are a business owner, a business leader here, always have an alumni community, okay? So you may want to resist the temptation to be on every platform, social media wise and beyond. So interesting, Lee, is that for social media, we are on virtually all platforms. Why? I've paid somebody to do that. So you can afford to do that when you have the money. Actionable tips. So like I said, Google yourself, what do you see? So beyond social media, you want to have a personal blog, your online CV to share your knowledge based on digital public relations. You may want to get featured in newspapers or lifestyle blogs, step up your digital footprint like I did. Prepare quality and highly relevant content and send them, and include your bio. Speaking engagements, accept them, ask for them even, because it creates visibility, presents content opportunities, but you should also be able to know the time where you need to be able to charge for your speaking engagements, okay? That was why I gave Nancy that job before I started. But then I was like, okay. So you were the one that came in to Landmark, came in to be a volunteer mentor. So, you know, you just have to do what it takes. If not, once people just reach out to me, I just send you my rate card sharply, no stories. So if you want to learn how to prepare that one, I can charge you for a fee. So you need to attend events and create your own, virtual or physical. So don't just only wait for events and conferences. You want to make sure you create your own, because if you are waiting for other people's platform, you may have to wait all your life. So for visual branding basis, you want to choose 2 or 3 brand colors. So from what you can see, what do you think is my brand color, both personally and professionally? I need us to type in the chats. Fantastic. Nancy, you are right. Blue, yeah. Blue. And one other color also stands out apart from blue. What's that color? Red. Yeah. Awesome. So you want to also make sure you choose font that match with your tone. You want to have a high profile photo. That picture that you see me use everywhere, I took it at Studio 24. Ha! Men and brethren. It was not cheap. And I told myself, I said, I must get value for the money of that picture. It was just 3 headshots and they charged me thousands of naira. So you want to also make sure that you use tools such as Canva, colors.co, Looker, Wix, so many tools that you can use to enhance your branding. So your brand voice and communication, formal versus casual tone, what fits your audience per time. But most importantly, I do say simplicity is the goal, simplicity and practicability, because I mean, we are all struggling with information overload. So the simpler, the better, less is more. Always align your communication with your values. You want to craft an elevator pitch. My elevator pitch was what I shared with you when I talked to you about my vision. So I am Dr. Toyin Samuel Mehelu. I'm an education, leadership, coaching, mentoring, business consultant who helps middle and senior executive by ensuring that they hone their leadership skills so that they can become better leaders and live significant lives. Shikena, that's my pitch formula. So, living your brand identity, you need to dress to reflect your brand. You don't necessarily have to overdress, but very, very, just put extra thought into what you're putting together. So what I do is I select what I'm to wear a night before, because it just gives me that total look. It doesn't necessarily have to be expensive, but just paying attention and putting a thought to it. Be punctual and professional. Deliver consistent value in your interactions, whether you're speaking to somebody one-on-one, or you're having a group conversation, or you have the opportunity to hold the mic. Speak up in places aligned with your brand identity. Very, very important. So please don't keep quiet in a place where I remember, I'm sure Nancy, please unmute your mic. When we had the onboarding session, were you there?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I was.
So what did I do? Did you notice I did something?
Yes, you said you would love to. I remember we're talking about the dinner with mentees and the CEO.
Yes.
And then you
Yes.
immediately said, "Oh, you would love to be part of it." So I want the mentors also meet the CEO.
So it was intentional. It was intentional. So sometimes make a comment, even if you don't have a question, conjure it. See, I've had opportunity to speak, teach for Nigeria when we were having our onboarding session. Something very dramatic happened. So as usual, they were onboarding us, telling us stuff and all of that, our responsibilities and all of that. So I just had to raise my digital hand because it was a larger room, actually. No matter how large the room is, you have to develop the confidence to speak. And then I raised my hand, and then they allowed me to unmute. And then I was like, okay, so aside from all of these things, is it possible for us to have a physical meeting where all mentors will also meet, just like I asked? And they were like, oh, not exactly, but they may create a community, blah, 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 blah. But before I actually asked that question, I introduced myself. And guess what? I met my business coach. And this guy has been very, very instrumental to my life, because when I introduced myself, okay, so I'm this, and this. I'm also the SSA to the Director General at Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Coaching Nigeria. You know, that's those words, those speech. You see why those speech, you need to have them handy. The next thing, Clara, he just sent me a DM, and then we got chatting. Interestingly, we stay in the same environment, in the same location. And before we know what was happening, we met up that same week physically. And this, my mentor, is actually a senior auditor with KPMG, then, with Ernst & Young, then. Right now, he's outside the country and is in charge of overseeing over 56 branches of KPMG abroad. This is who my business mentor is. Yes, his mentoring fee was quite much way back then. It was about $100 per hour, which I paid. But guess what? I've not recovered, and I'm still yet to recover. And I retained him as my business mentor. So don't think that when you are a mentor, you shouldn't have a mentor. If you're a mentor and you don't have a mentor, you are a tormentor. If you are a coach and you don't have a coach, you are a cockroach. That's on a lighter mode, right? But then I do say that all the time. So you need to strengthen your brand. Gather feedback from peers and mentors. Revisit your brand statement every 6 to 12 months. Like I said, it's not a cast in stone. Keep learning and sharing new expertise. Align your brand with your goals as you grow. Very key. So how do you leverage on the Landmark Foundation mentoring program? You want to get feedback from your brand identity. You want to be able to practice your pitch with mentors. You want to share wins and lessons in your cohorts, and you want to collaborate with others to redefine your brand. So next, very simple. I always like to be simple and practical. You need to do the following. Please screenshot this particular page. Write your brand statement. Choose your visual brand asset. Update your LinkedIn, and bio across all other social media platforms. And then you want to create or refresh your elevator pitch. Please, Opere, also remind me, I have a link to share with you on how you can optimize your LinkedIn page. Opere, please remind me, send me a message to remind me. Send me all these messages in the evening, please. Don't send me in the morning because I'm going back to class. As soon as I send it in the evening at about 6 p.m. Nigerian time, please. Then you want to get feedback from two mentors or peers. and then you want to commit to showing up consistently at least for 30 days. That is tough, right? But you want to do that whether through a post, a video, on your socials. Very, very important. So final thought, final personal branding in a nutshell is one, an inside job, who you are, what you have to offer, how you want to be positioned. Number two, it's an outside job. Embrace your platforms. What platforms you want to embrace, whether physical or virtual. Number three, it's a communal job. Identify and engage your community of stakeholders, build with purpose, brand with authenticity, and become unforgettable. Finally, branding is not just a logo. It's your promise, your presence, and your personality. So, I would like us to reflect, and I'd like us to engage the chat now. Number one, what did you learn today from today's conversation? Number two, what did you learn? Did you learn anything that surprised you? Number three, how do you think today's conversation might help you? So you can choose to answer any of the three. You can choose to answer the three. You can choose to answer one. You can choose to answer two. But I think the more answers you respond to, because this is actually for you, not actually for me. So you want to reflect on today's conversation and then let me know how this has been for you. So what did you learn today? Did you learn anything that surprised you? How might this help you? So I think basically that's just going to be it. So please, you can screenshot this too and connect with me on all social media platforms. And with that, I want to say a very big thank you. And my core area of expertise is individual coaching and mentoring, leadership development, corporate training, learning and development design, small business strategy, executive coaching, and recruitment. So in case you have any of these opportunities, for me, I look forward to engaging with you. So Nancy, I've done justice to what you have asked me to do. I would love to engage us in the chat. Let's drop our responses. But on that note, I have successfully completed within the time frame given to me. Over to you, Nancy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony. This was a very awesome session. Personally, I learned a lot. I mean, strengthening your strengths is not something I usually hear often. Thank you so much for sharing these nuggets. They are really, really insightful and very, very enlightening. Well, I will leave it to the mentees to also say one or two things that they've learned. Opuri, she's your mentor, and she always puts it in our, she's putting it in our faces. We started this meeting.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I'm sure you've learned a lot, and she would love to hear from you. Opuri, please, if you don't mind, kindly share what you learned from today.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. Good afternoon, everybody. I learned quite a lot. Try as much as I can to announce myself in rooms that matter. What was profound in that particular place was, first of all, you don't need to say rubbish, but secondly, you don't need to say so much. You could just try to compliment something, but just say something. You have to look for. It's really profound to me. I think that's what I learned the most. That's where you find yourself. If you find yourself in a place where aligns with your goals and anything, do not leave that place without trying to introduce yourself. Just say something, compliment somebody, compliment the work of the people, but drop a mark. I also learned about intentionality, that branding is intentionality. When she was talking about the SWOT analysis, you can't really focus on your weakness and waste time with that, because you could be focusing on your weakness and find out you've not done so much. But you can also align, you can also outsource people to help you. And importance of community too. I think I understand the importance of community. So basically, the major take home is that I'll try my best that wherever I find myself, that is a community, down to where one or two are gathered, even if it's just 2 or 3 persons, I should be able to say something that would leave a mark. Because look at our mentor's story of where she is actually today, the story of reality. It was who she made herself to be, what's the word now, to be valuable to people, and those same people came together and this is what she's getting for it. So keeping quiet, it's really, in fact, I cannot be shy. I cannot be shy,
You can't be shy. You
in
don't
this
have a
in
shy
this
mentor.
yeah in this journey of growth and intentionality, you have to know how to speak up and speak up when it matters.
Absolutely. We are all in the business of showbiz, whether you like it or not.
Thank you.
And thank you, Nancy, for
Thank you
making me
so much.
proud. Thank you. I'm so
Th-
happy.
Thank you. Kelly, so you called my name. Seems like I will
Sorry,
join your own
Okure.
mentorship program.
I wanted to say Okure. Sorry, Nancy, you just want to enter into my brain. I bind you in Jesus' name.
Okay, let's give Chidera the chance to also share what she learned today. Chidera.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
here. All right. Hello, everyone. I really learned a lot. Like, this class is really packed. There was a lot of things to learn, like a whole lot. Like Opere said, one of the first things that actually really caught my attention is actually opening up and always like speak out and all of that, because I've been trying to work on it, because it's giving this a closed mouth is a closed destiny. If you don't talk, they won't know what is in your mind. You won't find help. You won't know how whether there's anybody around there that can be of help to you, or how will people know what you do when you don't say it, when you don't show yourself and all of that. So like that is a real takeaway for me. Like now it's giving, be courageous, be audacious, like just stand and just say it, even though don't say so much, but then just say something so that they know that at least you have something upstairs, and if there's any opportunity they can link you up with it. And this part of delegating your weaknesses, I have never really thought about that before, but it was really insightful to know that instead of struggling with, okay, there are some things you can actually maybe adjust to, but there are some others that you cannot really do anything about it. It is just who you are. Instead of struggling with trying to adjust, what am I going to do? What am I not going to do? Just delegate them. And it's kind of like you also giving other people a platform to shine, because since it is
Exactly.
something they can do very well, just let them do it and let them excel in it too, and let them shine in that aspect too, while you're also shining in your own aspect. So that was really, 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 really nice. And even the part of avoiding your threats, like it was really nice to do that. Yeah, you must not really do everything. You can actually avoid some things and then like just
Run,
be
no,
sane
run for your life.
and just be sane for you for yourself.
Yes,
Like
sir.
it was very, 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 very insightful. Even this part of defining your audience and the value you want to give this your audience, like it's like a food for thought. You know that you have to really know who your target audience is, the people that you actually want. Not like just gathering everybody, and then at the end of the day, it's as if you didn't impact anybody. But when you know the people that what you have is meant for, and you actually pursue that people, you will really impact other people and all of that. And also the part of building our LinkedIn profile and all of that. It was really an insightful class. I won't lie, like I
Thank
really learned a
you.
lot.
Thank
My
you, Chidi.
my journal is
Thank
very
you.
full, and I'm happy. Thank you.
Yes, and I'm so
Thank you
looking
so
forward
much,
to
Chidera.
seeing all of us, because it's only my face that I can see. Every one of us, ladies. Am I talking to robots? Am I talking to human beings? I can't wait to see everybody and connect a face to the
Thank
name.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Chidera. Thank you. Does Oyinlola have something else to contribute? Oyinlola, I noticed your network
Okay,
kept
yes,
distracting. Yes, we'd love to hear from you.
yes, my network is actually frustrating. Okay, first
So
off, thank you so much, Ma.
sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Ma,
So
for the
just
teaching.
just a minute, Nancy, please. I think we should also make the recording available to everyone. I mean, someone like Oyi will be able to help her solve that
Yes,
issue. I can feel her
definitely.
pulse. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Over to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, because I missed some parts on the SWOT analysis pattern. Oh, but I've actually been hearing about personal branding and professional branding, but this should be like the first time I've heard it in simpler form, in the sense that you actually broke it down in the sense that you could actually work on it this way. I need to do this, I need to do that. And one thing I actually took away from it was that, okay, yes, you might likely have things you want to do or do to the community, but then how you package it matters. So, okay, I know in my head I have things that I want to do and I might have been doing it haphazardly, but this is telling me that I need to put intentionality into it. I need to put it in a way
Yeah.
that it looks maybe appealing or it looks more of value to people. But when people see it haphazardly, they be like wouldn't really attach more relevance to it. But when you have a tone, you have a pattern, your social media pages are consistent with each other, maybe you have a pattern by which you post and there's an intentionality to it, people would attach value to what you have to offer or to the things you do. I also got to from the teaching, I also got to know that I actually need to sit back. Yes, I know what I want to do, but I don't really have I don't have a value statement. I don't
Yeah,
really
you
have
have to
a
craft it.
my,
Yeah.
yes, so I don't have my my elevator pitch. I don't really have them in books like that. I just have them in my head. So it's taking me back to, okay, yes, I know I need to work, and the work doesn't have to be that big. It's just something you need to sit back and ask yourself honest question and be real with yourself. This is what I need to do. This is how I need to go about it and all. Thank you so much, Ma, for the teachings.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, Ma.
Thank you so much, Lola. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining the call.
Welcome.
We really had a very awesome time with Dr. Tony today.
Same
Please don't forget
here.
to connect with her. I mean, she's really wholesome. She even kept to the time to tell you that there are a lot of values that she didn't even mention, but she just showcases them. Thank you so much, Dr. Tony. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, permission to leave. Bye, everybody.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for your time.
Hi, Ma.